Good morning, kids! I am Teacher Lance and I am going to be your teacher for today and for the rest of the semester. So today we are going to study science, and the topic that we will discuss will be scientific mind. So having a scientific mind will help you to be a good student, especially in science. So here we will be able to learn and explore about every topic that is offered to us. So let's go! So, a scientific mind is a characteristic of a person who uses the scientific process to study or solve problems. So, the person with a scientific mind can be reasonable, responsible, curious, honest, careful, and open-minded. So, these characteristics are very important as a person or a student who studies science. So the first characteristic that we will discuss will be eager to learn. Here, this is about trying to learn or find the answers to what we want to learn, study, or discover. So it's important that you are eager to learn something in science. So as an example here, we have a girl who wants to research more about how to breed sunflowers for their report. Here, she is eager to learn about the sunflower so that she could use it for their report. So here, in another example, we can see that the girl is eager to learn about animals. So she went to the zoo and discovered about giraffe. So she learned what giraffe is according to the poster at the zoo. And the next characteristic that we will discuss is determined. Here, it is important that we do not give up when the experiment fails or when we face difficulties in the course of learning. So you have to be determined to learn. Even though you fail or the result did not come up as you wish, you should still be determined to learn and go on in the course of learning. Never give up easily even when the results go wrong. And the next characteristic of a person with a scientific mind is cooperative. Here you have to be very willing to share ideas with people. You have to not just box yourself in a place and study by yourself. Here, a good trait of a person with a scientific mind is that they are willing to share ideas with other people. So through that, the knowledge or the learning process will be widened, will be broadened, because it's not just only you that studies and shares ideas, but you can also receive ideas from other people that also studies the same topic. So that is how important being cooperative is in our science process skills. So now, the next characteristic is being honest. Of course, we have to always give the real results from the experiment. We should not be biased of what we want the result to be, but whatever the result of our learning, we should portray the real result. And also, we have to truly record. And as an example here, in the sunflower journey of this girl, she has to report the true record of how the sunflowers grow. The next one is curious. Here we have to pay attention to what is being observed and do it carefully. Alright, so we have to be curious. We have to pay deep attention to every details, to every information that we have to learn. So if we are genuinely curious about something, we are going to explore it more and deeper, and we're gonna learn about that subject very well. So that is for curious. So here, we are going to answer the following questions. So here, we are going to find out what characteristic of a person with a scientific mind is involved in the activity in the picture that I'm going to show. So here, what characteristic is this? A. Eager to know. B. Curious. C. Reasonable. Or D. Open-minded. So what do you think is a characteristic that is shown in this picture? Look at these girls. So here, the one person or the one girl is holding a magnifying glass, and she is looking at an insect, and that insect is a millipede. So here she said, why do millipedes have too many legs? So they want to find out, why do millipedes have too many legs? So why do they have that, and what are they using that for? So what is that? A. Eager to know. B. Curious. C. Reasonable. Or D. Open-minded. So the correct answer is letter B. Curious. Okay. Because of the girl's curiosity about millipedes, a question in her mind was formed, and that question is, why do millipedes have too many legs? And now in the next picture, we have a person or a boy which is using a computer, and he found out that a magnifying glass is a tool that makes objects look larger. So what characteristic is that? Is it A. Eager to know. B. Curious. C. Reasonable. Or D. Open-minded? So the correct answer is letter A. It is eager to know. So the kid is eager to know, and that's the reason why he used the computer to find out what magnifying glass is for. So here we have two persons, the girl and the boy. The first one, the boy, said, why can birds fly? And the girl said that because birds have wings, they can fly. So they are discussing about the bird, and the boy is curious about why is it that birds can fly. So, and the girl said, because they have wings. So the girl gave a reason why the bird can fly. So what do you think is the characteristic that is involved in this picture? A. Eager to know. B. Curious. C. Reasonable. Or D. Open-minded? What do you think? The correct answer is letter C. Reasonable. So the girl is giving reason about the question of the boy. So yeah, for the next activity, we are going to find out whether or not the person in the picture shows a characteristic of a scientific mind. So here we have a girl and a boy, a woman and a man, which the man is asking about how much are these marbles. So does it show scientific mind? If it shows scientific mind, we are going to check it on our book, and if not, we're going to cross it. Okay? So for this question, the answer is cross. It doesn't show scientific mind. So let's go to the next question. Number 2. In this picture, the boy is raising his hand and saying, teacher, I wonder, and then blah blah blah. So, what do you think is it? Does it show scientific mind or no? If it shows scientific mind, you're gonna check it, and if not, you're gonna cross it. So, what do you think is the correct answer? Very good. The correct answer is check. It is part of the scientific mind because the person or the boy here is showing curiosity, and he is basically asking a question about something. So yeah, that shows scientific mind. So for the number 3, we have here 2 kids, the boy and the girl, and the boy said, don't argue with me. So does it show scientific mind if if you're saying to your friend, don't argue with me, like this is correct, this is my final answer, don't argue with me. Is that a part of scientific mind? Okay, so the correct answer is no. Cross. It isn't a part of scientific mind, because as a person with scientific mind, we have to be cooperative with others. We have to accept opinions from others and consider them. And also, we have to learn how to share our opinions too. For the number 4, as you can see here, there is a girl and there is something on the floor and she is asking herself, hey, what is that? So here she shows curiosity about something. So let's find out whether or not this is a part of scientific mind. So the correct answer is yes, it's part of the scientific mind, because this girl shows curiosity about an object. For the number 5, as you can see here, the teacher is saying to the student, Ken, you haven't handed in your homework yet. So, if you don't submit your homework, does it show being a person that has a scientific mind? Yes or no? So let's find out. It's a no-no. So, as a person with a scientific mind, you have to be eager to learn, you have to be curious, you have to explore, and you have to be open-minded and to be determined in the learning process. So here, not submitting your homework doesn't show that you are eager to learn, that you are determined to learn. So that means that this doesn't show a characteristic of a person with a scientific mind. So for the number 6, we can see a group of students that are collaborating or cooperating with each other. So the boy said, let's discuss this. So he is inviting everybody to join him in discussing a specific matter. So is it a part of scientific mind or not? Let's find out. Yes, it is. It's part of the scientific mind. So therefore, we are going to check it on our book. So let's go to the next activity. So we're going to say yes or no. So, do they show a good trait of a good scientist? As you can see in the picture, Miley likes sky events, so she always reads about them from different resources or from different sources. Is it a good trait of a good scientist? The correct answer is yes, it is. It's a good trait of a good scientist. For the number 2, Peter believes in luck, so he prays to God for his experiment to go well. So here Peter is praying to God that, God, I want this experiment to go well. So is it a good trait of a good scientist? The correct answer is no. It's a good characteristic of a person, but it doesn't have to do with being a good scientist. So for the number 3, we can see here that John always listens to the opinions of others in his study group. So we can decide whether or not it's a trait of a good scientist. So what do you think is the answer? Very good. The correct answer is yes, it is a trait of a good scientist. So being a good scientist, you have to listen to others as well and to consider their opinions. Okay, so it will help you grow and be a good scientist. The next one is Flynn is careful and thinks well before making decisions about his work. So as we can see here, Flynn is thinking before he decides. Do you think it's a good trait of a good scientist? So let's find out. The correct answer is yes. You have to think well first before you decide of the conclusion that you have in your experiment or in any scientific process that you are engaging in. So lastly, we have here Nate, and she always checks on people's work using her own opinions. So, do you have to use your own opinion in criticizing or checking other people's work? So let's decide. It's a no-no. So you have to have a scientific basis in judging other people's work. And you have to work with them with harmony. You have to collaborate with them and cooperate with them, but not always criticize their work according to your opinion. So that is all for today. I hope that you learned something from Teacher Lance. So always remember that we should have the characteristics of a person with a scientific mind in order to conduct an effective experiment, and also so that we could learn and explore in science. So thank you and God bless. Goodbye. If you have any questions, you can just send a message to me through line. Bye bye and God bless. See you next class.